The author is sorry for mispronouncing fiery and fieriness throughout this video. Please understand fury as fiery and fieriness as fieriness. In the fiery condition, you can make use of the possibilities of the fiery body. This also includes a greater power of cognition. Fieriness is spirituality, a refined state of matter that goes hand in hand with the highest level of sensitivity. It allows you to grasp much more of the infinite reality, consisting of physical and spiritual aspects, than with your 5 coarse physical senses. In the fiery ideal state of your soul, you are closer to truth because the divine within you is truth. As long as your soul is still small, you are far away from the truth. Your senses sharpen, your consciousness expands. You comprehend the non-material, invisible, and intangible subtle reality, which is so infinitely more important for your life than the physical one. Your centers are slowly opening. For example, the chalice, in which all the events, experiences, and accumulations of your previous existences are stored, waiting to be unearthed and employed. Above all, your heart begins to speak, to warn, and to guide you. Through this most important organ of your eternal individuality, you have access to that intuitive straight knowledge, which imparts a far higher understanding than the intellect. Intuition is soul knowledge. The flame of fieriness enlightens you. It presents you with true deep insight into the nature of people and situations, with distinction of the small from the great, the good from the bad, and the necessary from the merely desirable. You gain real wisdom far beyond intellectual cognition. Nirvana is the quality of assimilation of all actions. The saturation of all inclusiveness brings you true knowledge, flowing from the tremor of illumination. Even children exclaim, "It came like a flash," or "It dawned upon me." Thus are called the moments of correct and instantaneous decisions. One may remember how Madame Kovalevsky solved mathematical problems. Such a fiery condition, linked with the fiery world, is characteristic. A person enlightened by the fire of the Spirit finds the right path in every situation. Let us hear Goethe. Look at Napoleon, what a fine fellow! Always enlightened, always clear and decisive, and gifted with sufficient energy at every hour to immediately put into practice what he had recognized as beneficial and necessary. His life was the stride of a demigod from battle to battle and from victory to victory. he could very well be said to be in a state of continuous enlightenment, which is why his fate was so brilliant as the world had never seen before him, and perhaps will not see after him either. Do you mean to say that I will become infallible, like the Pope? An important question. We do not want to lapse into the superstition that someone cannot be wrong just because he has been elected to an office. The ability to recognize and to act correctly solely depends on personal maturity, on the level of development and of the consciousness. Infallibility is a relative term, meaning the highest certainty accessible to a being of a certain evolutionary stage, for example, humans of the fifth race. At a higher level, Buddha, Jesus, Mahatma, the capacity for knowledge is of course greater, and thus a higher degree of infallibility possible. So, in the course of our eternal path, we come closer and closer to the one truth. Your wisdom grows with increasing fieriness. In a state of fieriness, you are always full of vitality, whatever happens to you. The body uses its physical, the soul its spiritual power, called psychic energy. Only in the fiery condition can you employ it to the full extent. Only then can it work freely. When you speak of power, I think of great rulers like Alexander the Great or Caesar. That is not quite the point. What we have in mind is spiritual power. That means the spiritual, the divine within you takes control, first over yourself, your lower self, and then over the circumstances around you. You gain complete self-control. The charioteer, the eternal individuality, steers the four perishable bodies, which means practically you master your physical body, your instincts, your thoughts, and your feelings. The domination of your lower self gives you a first feeling of the tremendous power your soul owns, if you only allow it to unfold. It is an indescribable exhilaration to walk in full possession of one's spiritual strength among all the weak, small, helpless, frightened, and despondent old men. The giant, slumbering within you, has finally freed itself. It steps out of its prison into the light and enters the stage of the world. You do not just feel great and powerful. You, your true self, actually is great and powerful. On the other hand, you also have to feel your smallness and weakness when the fieriness subsides, because your vibration drops. In the fiery state, you have power not only over yourself, but also over the people and conditions around you. You can steer them onto your path. Feariness is a magnet which attracts people. Like gravity, it also drags the circumstances into its spell and forces them to submit to the higher will. If you are unfit to pass your first probation and assert your rights of a future adept by forcing circumstances to bow before you, you are as totally unfit for any further trials. You can move the mountains that block your path, that is, overcome victoriously all obstacles. They will not ponder over earthly difficulties, knowing that many tasks can be solved by a higher degree of inspiration alone. When someone is said to be depressed by circumstances, be assured that he lives unignited. In the fiery condition, you are an immortal man of spirit, of the next stage of evolution, and thus far superior to all the material, mortal, low-vibrating creatures around you, who are dominated by their fears, desires, and moods, and thus prevented from developing their potential in spiritual powers. You are the future. You are already there, where the others still want to go, where they must go, according to the plan of evolution. Bring this superiority to bear. You are a leader, a trailblazer who walks ahead on the path to the future and inspires others to follow. Highness and love. This is the proud motto of the new man. May this mantra accompany and guide you in daily life and form the basis for your relationship with the old man. This superiority only exists as long as your vibration is high. As soon as it goes down, you immediately lose your power. You have to feel how, with a high vibration, you are powerful and superior, and with a low vibration, powerless and inferior. You don't mean to say that you can turn a weakling into a hero from one moment to the next? No, of course, no one who is small and weak can become great and strong overnight. This takes a long way. Feariness means the psychic energy that is present within each of us is activated and begins to work. This is the key factor. When a little soul sets out to consciously employ this spiritual power, it will grow through use. Then you will grow too, namely your power. In the fiery condition, you are always full of joy of being, whatever happens to you. The fiery spirit manifests joy, repulsing the dark manifestations with fire. You always bear a serene, superior, victorious smile on your lips, because the material does not affect you and can only further your ascent, because you know exactly that will happen to you what you require in order to take the next step on your path of unlimited growth. The joy of achievement is luminous, but even more luminous is spiritual joy. There is no precise term for the essence of spiritual joy, but it would be the most appropriate to call it fiery joy. With the help of spiritual joy, we can sense the fieriness of all of nature. This understanding will most easily elevate us to the supermundane world. Understand the beneficence of fiery joy. It expands the consciousness and draws all the best accumulations toward itself as a fiery magnet. The essence of man is transformed, and the so-called old man is burned away. Then one would experience exaltation in even the most ordinary surroundings. How does the wave of fiery joy fill the spirit and open communion with the highest worlds? Despondency and irritation are impediments. It is not easy amidst earthly agitations to avoid these companions, but spiritual rapture burns them away. All obstacles fall before fiery exaltation. Let us be joyous. Let us be light-bearing. The Mahatmas call out to us, joy, joy. The world is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Our teaching represents the world as rich, joyous, and attractive. How can I find this joy in the midst of all the suffering? We have explained already many times how you succeed to turn suffering into joy. Watch again the broadcastings, The Secret of Immortality, The Meaning of Suffering, and Rejoice at Obstacles. Isn't a joyful being more or less innate? No. One of the 10 most important statements of Agni Yoga is: joy is a special wisdom. That is to say, a sunny mind does not come out of nowhere. It is the result of the hard work which is required to create and maintain a high vibration. That must not remain abstract. Sense how with a high vibration you are joyful and with a low vibration depressed. Defending your fieriness also means maintaining joy in every situation, during every work. This is a great skill, a kind of meditation in the middle of everyday life.